Today we gonna download and run a Docker image of MySQL and then connect to the instance with Dbeaver. First thing, you can download the MySQL images through Docker pull command. So right now I've already downloaded it. So if I wanted to show the images right now, I have it my own local. I can just do dog images. So this is a image I have downloaded earlier. Now the next thing is I wanted to uh, deploy it. Uh, you know, can't I can either do it from the Docker desktop application, or I can do it from through command line also. And other thing, we need to map the Docker container port to the actual port. So, so this is basically the command to run the Docker images. So this 3306 is basically the Docker container port of a MySQL, and 3307 is basically the port through which we're gonna connect to the MySQL container. And MySQL 101 is basically the container name, and this MySQL root password is basically the credentials for the MySQL. Here the password is just the root, and hyphen d followed by the actual image name. So this is basically the image name and followed by the tag. Again, it's the tag name is the latest. So I'm gonna run it. So if at all we want to check the containers that are running, we can do think ps. Yep. So this is a content. Okay, maybe I'll. So this is a container ID. Again, other details. So this exact information, instead of doing it on the command line, we can check it on the Docker desktop also. So here I'm clicking on the container. So this is being what we are running it. If you notice, this is the same container ID, matches with the same container ID which we got it from the command line. And again, now to be we need to attach a MySQL what is it, shell to a container. Again, we can do it from here by there's an option of controller. So it has opened the controller, or else we can just run the Docker command itself. And then I think MySQL runs one. Yeah. So we have attached the shell to the Docker container. Again, this is the same as this now. These two are same. Now we're gonna configure certain MySQL. Okay, so basically we need to. Okay, maybe let's check on the Dbeaver. Let's try to connect this with the Dbeaver ID. So I'm just creating a new, and the localhost right now. Yeah, so this is a port, the 3307, not the 3306, which is a port on the Docker container. And the user, I think it's still a root, and password is also a root. So you couldn't able to connect it. So looks like we haven't attached the shell yet. Okay. Docker. Name of the container followed by shell name. Yeah, now it's good. Okay. Now we're gonna enter. Yes. So after first thing we have attached this shell, and then I logged into the MySQL CLI. On MySQL CLI, we need to update certain credentials, certain values. So in order to use it from the Dbeaver or workbench, MySQL workbench. So select user host from MySQL dot users. So if you see the root, for the root user, the host is a localhost. Instead of that, we need to present it with a percentile. So we need to update tile where user equal to root, and maybe you can just flash the changes also. Now let's so earlier we couldn't able to connect to the MySQL. Now let's uh, try to check it from the Dbeaver. So it's a localhost. Again, the port number is not 3306, it's 3307, and password is root. Again, the username root. Let's check the connection. Okay, I think this is just issue with certain config changes on the Dbeaver. You can just go for allow public retrieval instead of false, make it as a true, and let's check for the connection. Yeah, now we have connected to the Docker. Maybe we can just rename this also. MySQL run 01. So this is basically the Docker container. Show databases. Yeah, thank you.